In this video, I'm going to show you how I make my video graphics for YouTube. So we're going to do a live tutorial on how to make video graphics for YouTube, and we're starting right now. Woo! All right, so what I'm going to do, guys, if this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your channel and make videos and all types of other YouTube-related stuff, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that you don't miss anything. So you don't miss any future updates, any live streams, anything like that, because we're updating, 3 times a week now, with live streams and videos and all types of cool stuff, trying to teach you guys how to do things. Boom, says Paul. Alrighty, guys, so we are going to go right into the display capture, and I'm going to take you into Photoshop. Let me get this. Thanks, Mina. I appreciate it. Let me get this set up here for you guys. Okay, now another thing that I'm going to try to experiment with here, and let's see if it works, is I'm going to try to get this browser source in here. Nah, you know what? I can't see the chat in there. That's unfortunate. Let me give me 1 second, because I want the chat to appear on this stream. So I'm going to transition back into the thumb while I work this out real quick. Hope you guys are doing good. Give people a little bit of time to get in here too, which is pretty cool. Whoa, 65 people in here already. Crazy. It comes in so fast. Okay, let's see here. That's interesting. I don't see myself as being live. Okay, so much for tossing in a URL for the live chat. There goes that big idea. At a glance it was cool. It was totally cool. So what I'm going to have to do then is I'm going to have to just lay my tablet right here. Bam. And we're going to go at it that way. So in order to turn off this, I get tons and tons and tons of requests. Hey Nick, how do you do your thumbnail, or not your thumbnails, but how do you do your video graphics? How do you do your video graphics? How, Nick, do you do your video graphics? Well, I'm going to show you how I do the video graphics. And real quick, I want to give a shout out to Rhythm of Lebanon, what is going on? Mina from the Universe Guru, what is going on? Paul Democritu, what is happening? Chris Tankersley in the house, what is happening? Justin Bennett, nice to see you guys. Everybody that has popped into the stream so far, welcome. I'm going to show you guys how. Gord, awesome, what is going on, my man? I'm going to show you guys how I make my video graphics for those of you that are interested in that sort of thing, because it is something that, a lot of us as YouTubers are, trying to get worked out. Okay. Somebody just said they couldn't hear, but I just double checked. If anybody else has any trouble hearing, then let me know, and I will try to make adjustments from there. All right, guys, so first thing that I do when I make my video graphics is, and this is just a habit of mine, but basically I pick a color, and usually a darker color, and then I'll make a background, just kind of a darker background like this, and then I'll go up, and again, this is just a personal habit, and I will add noise to it. And what this does is it gives me just like a little bit of a textured background, so it helps me make sure that my graphics stand off of the page a little bit, when I'm working on light backgrounds and dark backgrounds. So in this case, I'm going to make a remember to subscribe animation that's going to pop up on the screen, and I'm going to show you a few different ways to do it. So the first thing we have to do is we have to actually make the graphic itself. So I'm going to go over here to the left, and you are going to see the shape tool, and I'm going to go up here to the top left of my screen, up here into the options, and I'm going to make sure that it is selected on shape instead of path. And the reason for that is so that if I decide to make it angled, or if I want to resize, if I decide to put it at an angle like this, or if I decide that I just want to grab it and resize it, it basically holds the edges together. If you're a Photoshop user and you are used to working with shapes that are not actual shapes, then what's going to happen is when you're moving things around, along these edges are just going to get destroyed. So that's the reason that I use shapes inside of Photoshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this graphic right here, the shape graphic, and I'm going to move this to the bottom of the screen. Now I'm going to resize this once I get the text in there, but for now I'm going to just center it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my control key on my keyboard, and I'm going to make sure that my rectangle is selected over here on the right in my layers palette over in this. And then I'm also going to make sure that I have the background layer selected. And when I do that, it's going to give me more control options up here at the top of my screen. So I'm going to click here in this middle one to actually center it up. Yes, you should be able to do this, DJ Tech. You should be able to do this on regular Photoshop CC as well. So yeah, that's definitely something that you should be able to do. I used to do this in Photoshop CC, so yeah, you can definitely do this. Audio feels like one side on headset. Yeah, you know what? It might be coming through as a mono instead of a stereo signal. But as long as you can hear me, you know, that's all we're working with right now. Okay, so once I have just the general shape back there, because you know you have to start with something, then I go to the text. So in this situation, I'm going to select my text tool, and then I'm going to change my color to white, so it pops off of this red. And for the font, I'm going to use Alternate Gothic BT up here, and I'm just going to click anywhere on the screen, and I'm just going to type the text. Remember to subscribe. Okay, now I'm going to click up here on my move tool just to deselect that. And then I'm going to move it down here into my box. I'm going to hit Control T on my keyboard, and this is on a PC. And then I'm going to hold down my Shift key, and I'm going to drag this text out. Okay, once I have it as big as I want it to be, then I can let go of my mouse, and I can let go of the Shift key. And then I click on the move tool again, and then I click Apply to actually apply that size. So as you can see, I have my smart guides on. So what happens is when I move this over, then Photoshop is automatically going to tell me with this red line that pops up here that it is centered up with my page. If you do not have those on, or you don't know how to turn those on, you basically just go up to View and then Show, and then you'll see Smart Guides right here. So now that I have this up, I see that everything is definitely way too big. I also have some extra space on the left and right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the rectangle. I'm going to hit Control T. I'm going to move this in just a little bit. For the sake of speed in this tutorial, I'm actually going to just eyeball this instead of actually, measuring everything out. Okay, that looks pretty close. Pop it out just a tad more. Okay, and then again, I'm going to hit the Move tool to actually apply it, and then I'm going to hit the Remember to Subscribe. I'm going to hit the rectangle, and I'm going to hit the background, and then I'm going to go back up here to the very top of the screen for the control option, and I'm going to align horizontal centers again, just to make sure that everything is nice and centered up. Now that I have what I want, I'm going to hold down my control key again, and I'm going to make sure that I have Remember to Subscribe selected, and I'm going to go down to the rectangle tool, and then I'm going to hit Control G so that I can group those. So what that does is that makes it now, instead of these being individual layers, they are still individual layers, but they are joined together in a group. So I can just select this folder, and I can move it together as a group instead of having to make sure that I have each individual layer selected. So I'm going to look at the live chat here real quick and see if anybody has any questions so far while I am going through this. You use Pixel Editor, yeah, that's good. I don't know how to use Photoshop, that's cool, but a lot of people ask me this, so I figured that it might be interesting to some people that are interested in this sort of thing, even if they're not Photoshop users, just for the graphic aspect side of it. And here in a minute, we're actually going to move this party into Sony Vegas as well, and then you can see how I actually animate it once I go into Sony Vegas. So if you are a Photoshop user or a Sony Vegas user, you can have some nice information on here as well. Yes, you can definitely, hey, look, it's the Piano Girl. You can definitely use thumbnail, or you can definitely use Photoshop on a Mac. Absolutely. Turn the mic up a little bit. Okay. Mic check, mic check. There we go. Okay. So now with the mic turned up a little bit, to coffee, this video is too advanced for me. Thanks, I appreciate it. Zaggy DK, thanks, I appreciate it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do once I have this worked out is I'm going to make sure it's centered again real quick since I moved it around. But I'm going to hit Control T and I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit here. Then I'm going to hit the apply again. And then I'm going to center it up just like we've been doing. Now, a couple things that I can do with this before I export it, right, is I can, big difference to the higher mic, good. Is it a good difference, Gord, or a bad difference? Is it possible to combine several videos on this program? This program that I'm working in right now, to answer your question, Rhythm of Lebanon, is Photoshop. This is more for graphics. You can also, in Sony Vegas, which we're going to be moving into here shortly, you can combine multiple videos in that. Sounds good for you. Good audio. It's a lot better audio now. Okay, perfect. Fantastic. Nick, would you say it's a good time investment to learn how to use Photoshop? There's a big learning curve that comes with Photoshop. I think depending on what your area of expertise is, in a lot of cases, you know, like it's better to focus on what you're good at, things that you already know, unless of course you think that you could benefit in other ways from using Photoshop, you know, providing services or something like that. But because the learning curve is so hard and it takes a lot of time to learn how to use it, and in addition to that, you also have like the graphic side of things as far as, you know, knowing how to make graphics look good and all of that, and then mixing that into Photoshop. So in a lot of cases, it's usually better to just pay people to do stuff. But you know, I've been working in Photoshop for like 20 years, so it's just like a second nature thing for me. But I really don't think, like in your situation specifically, Mina, I really don't think that I think your time could be better spent elsewhere instead of trying to use Photoshop. Chris, I just saw your message. No idea what happened there because you were added, so I have no idea what just happened there. But I'll look into it after the stream. Yeah, Canva for thumbnails. Yeah, that definitely works. Like Photoshop, it definitely gives you more options. I mean, you can do pretty much anything you can imagine in Photoshop, but you know, Canva will definitely get the job done. TubeBuddy also has the option. I have a link to them down in the description below for anybody that's interested in TubeBuddy. But TubeBuddy will also help you make thumbnails as well. Okay, so the next thing that I do once I have the actual graphic in place is I remove the background. And then when I do that, it makes this background area transparent. So from here, I go in and I'll turn off the remember to subscribe. And then I'll go up to File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. And then I will just add this as background. And then I do the same thing for the text. So if I'm going to make my graphic out of this, you know what, actually I want to, you know what, I'm just going to have it actually pop up on the screen in the middle there, just to show you how to do that. So once I've exported those, then all I have to do is go into Sony Vegas, and then I will see them in here in the folder inside of Sony Vegas. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that background in here, and then I'm going to take the text, I'm going to lay the text on top. So now you can see that the actual graphic itself is in there, right? Both parts of it. And I can turn off one layer, I can turn off another layer. So what I do for the actual animation part is, whoa, a lot of spam it looks like going on in there. Woo, Dapper Dale in the house. Woo, what's up, Dale? Advice for After Effects here for easy in and out animation, download and install Mr. Horse plugin. It's a free animator composer, pay features available on us there. Ah, very cool. Thanks for the tip, Science Theory. Appreciate it, man. I'm actually going to take note of that myself. Okay, so basically what I do is I figure out what I want to animate first. In this situation, I know that this is going to pop up for 5 seconds and then it's going to disappear because I don't want it to be up on the screen for a long period of time. So there's two different ways that you can animate inside of Sony Vegas. One way that is super easy is you can just grab one side and you can actually just use a fade, and the same thing on the other side, right? And when you do that, then you can go into transitions, and you can go over to push as one of your transitions, and you can just pull that push down, And you can just keep it as the default setting. And what's going to happen is it's going to move it into the screen, right? That's a super easy way to do it. And the same thing goes on the out, right? Now, now another thing that you can do that's a little bit more complex, and it all depends on how you actually want to animate it, is if you look on the track right here, let me make this a little bit bigger just to make sure that you can see it. If you look on the track right down here in the bottom right, you're going to see an event pan crop option. So what you do is you click on that, and then here you have keyframes. Basically how a keyframe works is you have this frame here, and each time you select a new keyframe, you're basically telling Sony Vegas where it is that you want the graphic to be at that point in time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to double click just a little bit out here, and that's going to create a new keyframe. And that's going to be my resting point. So what happens here is, since I have the resting point, no matter what happens, no matter what I do on this first one, as soon as this time passes right here, it's going to stop and it's going to end right here at this particular point in time. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move my marker to the front here, and then I can actually take this, and let's say I want it to drop in from the top. Then I just pull this down, and you can see it shoots up into the top there. Now, another thing that you can do, actually I'll do that here in a second, but I want to show you the actual, how that would come in. Right, so that'd be a bit annoying coming in from the top like that, but you know, I'm doing that just to show you how it works. So basically it starts at the top at this keyframe, and you can see that here, and then it actually comes to rest right there at the bottom. Okay, so I'm actually going to move this and have it come up from the bottom instead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have it come up from the bottom a little bit faster. I'm going to have it jump up and then fall back into place. So it's going to come up, right, because it's starting above it. And then when I click on this keyframe, I'm going to push this down just a tad, so it gives it the feeling of jumping up, and then it's going to come to a rest. And then you can see there, it pops up, comes to a rest. Now, there's other things that you can do inside of these keyframes. As an example, yeah, the DJ Tronic says that for those just joining, you can do the same thing in Adobe Premiere Pro, which I have right here. It's all extremely similar. In Premiere Pro, it's actually a tad easier to actually figure out. Like when I first started with Vegas, I actually, I had to like figure out how to do this part. In Premiere Pro, they have that extra window that pops up that kind of helps you animate a lot easier. And I actually have, it's actually my preference. But I just wanted to do this Vegas tutorial just because I have everything set up for it. But I'll do a Premiere one in the future as well for you Premiere users. But basically, other things that you can do is you can right-click on the keyframe and you can actually change the type of motion that it gives it. So when I do that, it just slightly changes how it feels, so to speak, or the visual motion when it comes in. And now I'm going to do the same exact thing at the end. I'm going to start, in this case, at the resting point, and then I'm going to create the jump up and then the jump down. So here it's going to jump up. Here it's going to go down and go out of view. And we are also going to change these here. Don't need it there on that one. And then you'll see here it jumps up. Now, of course, it has a much cooler sound effect, or much cooler effect once you add sound to this stuff. It makes a really big difference. But for right now, we're just on the graphic side of it. Okay, now that we have this pop-up, the next thing we want to do is we want to add our text, right? So there's a couple different ways we can do it. We can have it to where right when it comes in, there we go, right when it comes to its resting place, the text comes in. And what I'm going to do in this situation is I'm actually just going to have it mask across. So what I do is it's similar to the keyframe for the actual motion, but here I just want the text to appear into position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the same dialog here with the crop tool, with the event pan and crop, and then I'm going to click on the mask down here in the bottom. And then I'm going to click on the square on the top, and I'm actually going to just draw in the mask. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go, just like we did in the other one when we were making it jump, I'm going to double click here. And again, this is telling us the resting point for the mask, just like it told us the resting point for the graphic. And then I'm going to click on the front because it's the starting point, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right in the middle of the text. I'm going to put it in the middle of the text there as well, and then I'm going to close it out. So now when it comes in, then you can see the text just, bloop, it just adds that little bit of extra dynamic, or that little bit of extra, you know, excitement, so to speak, when the graphic comes in and it animates. And then we can do the same exact thing. Basically, I'm using my cursor here to move my marker so that I can tell when it's jumping up. So I know, okay, well, at that point in time, I need to make sure this is gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this here so that it cuts off. And then I'm going to go back into the crop tool, and I'm going to basically take this mask the other way, just like we did it when we were taking out the actual graphic frame. Then I'm going to move this down to kind of seal that up a little bit. And then when it goes out, it's going to close it and then go out of frame. Now, another thing that a lot of people don't know with something like this is, one, if you are using Sony Vegas or Premiere, you can actually drag your animation files right in, your actual project files, and you can use it that way. Corbin Connection Comedy, what is going on? Gonna give some quick shout outs here real quick. Here, we'll actually hop over to the camera side real quick, just so I can say what's up, see how you guys are doing. All right, so here in a second, I'm going to show you guys how to actually export this so that you can use it as a source alpha file, and then you can drop it into anything you want. You can give them away. You can do anything that you want with them. So let's see here. We've got Aaron Jemison in the house. What is going on? You can copy the frames and paste them in. Yes, you can. You definitely can. Yeah, you can just copy them, paste them back in, and then just rearrange them so that it goes out, you know, just like it came in. Absolutely. You use Vegas as well, Analog 64. Very cool. Will these things work in DaVinci Resolve? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they work or not. Mine work real well. No reason for me to learn this when I'll do it so well. When you do it well. So thanks, Greg. I appreciate it. Greg, Free American Spirit in the house. Chiba Gaming. What is going on? Yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, we're like 65 viewers in here right now. Here it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning. And I just wanted to hop on and do a live stream because I get a lot of questions about this. I actually received an email about it today. Somebody asking me how I make my video graphics in Photoshop. So I figured that I would, you know, I would show it to you guys to, you know, to let you guys see how it goes there. So now we're going to go back to this, and I'm going to show you how to actually export. Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you? I want to not be seen on camera. Do you make also such videos? Yeah, I do. C. Beckett, I do have videos on how to make videos without showing your face if you don't want to be seen on camera. If you go and you look into my video archive, actually, if you look on my channel page, it's in one of my popular videos. So, so go check it out there. Okay, so when you go to export this, basically you just go to File, Render As, and here is where you can make it to where you can, you know, give it away, or you can, you know, share it with somebody. It doesn't matter if they're a Vegas user or not. If you look here at my export settings, I actually have this one as QuickTime7.mov, transparent with audio, because I've already saved these presets in here. But basically, in order to do this, you have to have QuickTime installed on your computer, or it won't let you do it. But once you have QuickTime installed on your computer, you just have to make sure that the video format is PNG and that you are 32 BPP color, and then that is going to allow you to export this to where you can actually remove the background, which is pretty cool. And then basically, once you are ready to export that, then you just hit export, and then you are good to go. And that is how you make video graphics in Sony Vegas. Now, before I close this down, Does anybody have any questions about anything that I went over in this tutorial? Guess not. Okay, so no questions. How are you guys doing besides that? Everybody doing good? Tiny Vlogger, I can't tell you what your channel is about. Says somebody. Says Motivation Magic. Oh, there we go. Hey, how's it going? Love your channel. Boyd's Vlogs in the house. What is going on? Just one, probably. Yeah, I'm using OBS to do this right now. Like OBS is doing the screen capture here. It's running the camera. It's doing all the transition stuff. That's all done inside of OBS. What's going on, Dale? Hope you are well, buddy. Lurking as I eat lunch. That is cool. That is cool. Okay, guys. I just wanted to hop in with this, so it was cool hanging out. If you guys have any questions, then let me know before you head out. Besides that, I'm going to be releasing another video on Wednesday, so make sure you check in for that. And then, of course, live streams every Saturday. So if you missed this live stream, or if you want to see a more, talky live stream instead of a tutorial, then make sure to check in on Saturdays, because that's when I do that. Hey, Nick, finally got time for once. JC, what is going on? Nice to see you in here. Wow, OBS is doing all of that. Amazing. Yeah, OBS is pretty cool. You know what? I'm actually going to pull OBS up on the screen real quick, just so you can see how awesome this is. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go into the display capture here, and everything's going to look crazy probably, but I just want to show you guys this for those of you that are interested in OBS, just to show you how to set it all up. And I'm going to do another live stream on this in the future, or an actual tutorial. I'm in the process of, I've recorded 2 videos already, in the process of putting together a whole playlist on live streaming, but I'm going to show you some of this stuff right now. Okay, so now I am in OBS. And basically how I have everything set up is, if you look down here in the bottom, or over here in the sources tab, you're going to see that I have a thumb, I have an end, which is basically my end card, right, when I turn that on. The thumb is this. I have my browser source, which is, I thought I was going to be clever and pull in the chat so people could see them, but it didn't work out like I had hoped. So I'm going to have to figure out, a better way to do that. The top left subscriber thing, that is here. The display capture, what you're seeing is there. Text for when I put my scroller down here at the bottom, right? That's all here. And I also have the slideshow. So when you see the, now it's probably not going to come up for a minute, but when you see the social media stuff come up on the screen that says, Instagram, Nick Nimmin, Twitter, Nick Nimmin, all of that, right there, there it is. When you see that, that is just coming from a slideshow, and I'll show you real quick how that's set up if anybody wants to know. Yeah, hit that like button, people. Yeah, we got like 3 likes. I guess you guys aren't liking tutorials, right? So Mondays, just so you guys know, what I'm doing right now is I'm experimenting with Mondays. I initially was going to do mobile Mondays, but unfortunately, it seems like people, according to my audience retention, it seems like you guys are not really digging the mobile live, or not the mobile live stream, but the mobile stuff. So now Monday is going to be my experiment day. So I'm going to do, I'll do some mobile stuff. I'll do some live stream stuff. I'll do some just general tutorial stuff. I'll do, things along that nature. Oh, you see 65. You know what, Gord? I'm watching it from when I first loaded it. That's why. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, Monday right now is experimental for me, because I'm trying to figure out basically, how to connect with you guys better, like how to the type of content that I can deliver that is, the best fit for you guys. So that's what's going on with my Mondays. So today we're doing a live stream, and I'll see if you guys are digging this or not also. Okay, so here in OBS, right? So I'm kind of making this like a double tutorial, I guess. But basically, it's real easy to set up. Basically, I have the thumb that I put up here at the top, right? And I put that at the top so that as soon as I am ready, then I can just turn that off, and then it's good to go. And what happens is I hit this transition button, and then it gives that nice butter smooth fade. And then I just hit that transition, and then it goes out of that fade again, which is pretty cool. Same thing happens, with the end card. As soon as I'm ready to load that up here in a minute, then I just transition that in, and that's good. But what's cool is the image slideshow, for example, right? If I go into the properties for that, basically what I did is I just made graphics just like I did here in Photoshop for this, right? I just did the Instagram instead of, what you see here. I just did my social media places. So basically I load these up, and I can change the transitions or the time between slides. But instead of doing that, I just dropped in blanks also here, so that I could, kind of mess with the timing a little bit as far as when they would show. So, no, I run it. The scroller, yeah, I run that, Greg. But yeah, so in OBS, basically, I stack these up, right? These are all just different graphics, and I stack these up so that they just slide in, which is pretty cool. And basically what I do to actually make a move is I right-click on it, and then I go to Filters, and then it's not letting me do it right now because it's actually playing, but I can hit the plus, and then I can add a filter for it to actually slide, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, the webcam, and then another display capture. But yeah, like the background, like as an example, I can move this down here to the bottom, and then you see that ticker background pop up, and then I have my text, right? That pops up over here on the top. So if you're digging that, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Really, yeah, besides that, as far as OBS is concerned, I mean, that's pretty much it. The only thing that I recommend for anybody that is interested, this is on Windows. Yeah, this is on Windows, buddy. I'm not sure, what is a best fit for you, but I personally use Windows. But one thing that happens, guys, is there's usually some type of sync problem that I personally get inside of OBS. I don't know if it's because of my internet connection or because I'm running everything off my laptop or what. But what I have to do to fix that sync is I actually go into this little gear icon here, and then you'll see a sync offset. So I just have to pick my mic, and then I just give it a plus 200. And sometimes it's been as bad as having to give it a plus 500. But, in most cases, the 200 will do the trick to where it syncs everything up nicely. So now, just to show you how this works, I'm going to put that up, and I'm going to take off the image display, and I'm going to transition into this. All right. We'll actually turn this off real quick. All right. Do you guys have any questions on OBS? Or anything Yellowknife Production? What is going on? Do you guys have any questions on OBS or on any of the Photoshop or Sony Vegas stuff that I went over? I'm here to help you today. I'm here to help. I'm here to help, man. Yeah, OBS is open source, works on most systems. Absolutely. Yeah, Greg, that's the thing, man. That latency between OBS and YouTube, it can be pretty extreme sometimes. So basically, you just have to go for it, right? That's all you can do is just go for it, and you're gonna have a lag, so you just go for it anyway, and just hope that when people are asking questions and stuff like that, that it's that you get to it in time. Yeah, I'll show you how I import the file back. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go back to the display capture. Okay, so this is, and he asked me to show how I import the file back into Sony Vegas once I export it. So what I will do here is, let me actually, you know what, I'm not going to export this because it'll take too long, so I'll just grab something from Tuber Tools. So let me grab a video here. Okay. Okay, so basically in order to pull one of these graphics in, what I do is, let's see here, let me go into Tuber Tools really quick. Let's see here, Tuber Tools. Okay, let's go into, what do we got? Okay, let's go into the lower thirds. Okay, so like in this situation, right? These are made in the same exact way. So all I do is I basically just grab that file and then I pull that file into Sony Vegas. And what's going to happen is you're going to see a black background on it, right? So what you do is you have to right click, and if you're using Premiere or Camtasia, actually the new version of Camtasia you can't use these, but if you're using Premiere, when you drop it in, it works right away. If you're using, I believe, Final Cut, it works right away. Cyber, I forget what it's called. Greg uses it. Greg, if you could say what it is, it's Cyber something that you actually have to put it under the track instead of on top of it in order for it to work. But here in Sony Vegas, you actually have to right-click it, and you have to tell Sony Vegas that it's an alpha channel graphic. So you right-click on the graphic itself down here in the timeline, and you go to Properties, and then you go up to Media, and then underneath Alpha Channel here, then you select Straight, and then you hit OK, and then it's going to delete that black background. So then what happens is, as your video is playing, here, let's put it in a cool part in the video. Okay, so what happens is, as the video is playing, then it slides over, right? And then your name or whatever would appear on here, your URL down here or something else, and then it disappears. So that is how you actually use it inside of Sony Vegas after you have exported it. So, you know, if you guys have gotten any of this stuff from Tuber Tools, if you're not familiar with Tuber Tools, it's tubertools.com. Definitely go over and check out tubertools.com, because I have tons of this stuff over there. If you don't feel like making this stuff yourself, or you don't know how to make it, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have Vegas, or, you know, you just don't want to have to deal with learning how to do it, then you can head over to Tuber Tools. And, you know, I have a lot of this stuff over there, different transitions you can use and different wipes and lower thirds and stuff like that. So you can just drop it in. You don't have to actually go into Photoshop and, you know, do all this stuff to actually, you know, figure out how to make it. The same thing goes, you know, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about the subscribe animation that I use at the beginning of my video, where I say, remember to hit the subscribe icon and the bell or remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything. That graphic is right here inside of Tuber Tools. And I also have a remember to subscribe graphic and some countdowns and a bunch of awesome stuff over at Tuber Tools. If that's something that that you guys are not familiar with yet, definitely head over to Tuber Tools. And another thing that I have here that a lot of people ask me about is you can just click on this banner at the top, and it's the watermarks, right? So if you look at one of my videos, you know, you'll see, and in a lot of people's videos, you know, my videos have this, Brian's videos have this, I think Gord's videos have this, Paul's, I believe, but you'll see this little subscribe thing that comes up over here on the side.
Watching my video, everybody's...
It's this right here. So if you want those, they're like $2, and you can get them there on Tuber Tools as well. All right. Now I'll just leave this up that way. Okay, outside of that, do you guys have any more questions on those? Oh, thanks, Paul. I appreciate the link drop. Cyber Media, that's it. Cyber Media is the one that Greg uses. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Analog uses some stuff from Tuber Tools. vidIQ, they do have a free version. In the description of this video right now. I personally use TubeBuddy. I know there's a lot of people in this chat right now that use TubeBuddy as well. vidIQ is good, but I personally use TubeBuddy because they have additional features as well. So, and they have a free version of TubeBuddy as well. You don't have to get the paid upgrade, but they do have that version as well. Hey, you guys want to see something else since we're just doing live, a live tutorial thing here? Check this out. So, you know what? I won't do a photo one right now. I was going to do a photo editing tutorial also, but we'll save that for another live stream. You know what's funny is once I get on these live streams, I just don't want to leave. Like I don't want to shut my computer down. Like once these things start going, like I don't want to shut them down. It's so much fun. I just like you know, I just like hanging out with you guys. Okay. Let's see here. Hey, the perks with TubeBuddy is way worth it. Oh yeah. Yeah, Dale, it is absolutely way worth it. I use the free version right now. That's cool, buddy. You know, like that's, you know, you don't have to have the paid version. It just gives you more options. You know, I mean, just like it with anything. You know, when you pay for it, you know, you usually get more. But you know, it'll do the trick for you. You know, like it'll get you started with the free version, so you don't have to, you know, so you don't have to spend any money on it until you get to the point to where you're like, okay, you know what, I should probably upgrade, and then you know, do it at that point. Can you put more free graphics on VIP? Man. Here's some blood. No, I'm just kidding. You know, my stuff on my VIP, I give that stuff away because it's stuff that's useful to people. Oh, I'm doing a selfie here with my brother to show him that I'm live right now. With the VIP stuff, yeah, I give away a bunch of stuff in there, and it's because I know that, you know, some people want some cool stuff, but you know, it's, you know, they can't afford it or they just don't want to put money out or whatever. So, you know, the VIP is kind of like my free version of TubeBuddy, right? It's, you know, it's stuff that can get you started, give you some good information, some free audio tracks, some, you know, some ebooks you can download that'll help you with your channel, and, you know, some video graphics and that kind of stuff. But, you know, the same thing, I can't just dump tons of stuff, you know, tons and tons and tons of free stuff in there all the time, because, you know, then that would hurt, you know, everything else that I'm doing. So, bad audio, pissed. Okay, USB card and OBS saves 20% processor. I picked up a lifetime deal on AppSumo to TubeBuddy. Yeah, that was a sweet deal, man. That was what, 40-something bucks for a lifetime pro membership. Yeah, that was sweet. Keep your eyes out for those people. Let's see here. I got the bell and remember to subscribe off Tuber Tools. Thanks, man. Also VIP, and you use Vegas. Oh, nice. Rosman's Realty. This was like a jackpot live stream then. That's funny. Okay, audio is fine. Yep, 39 bucks. Where should I go after KindMaster, Nick? If you're editing on your phone, KindMaster definitely will do the trick for you. Personally, I always recommend to people, I mean, it's just because it's a personal preference of mine, you know, I mean, everybody has their own preference, their own way of doing things and stuff like that, but for me, I always recommend to people to, when you get the chance, to start learning how to use, you know, pro-level software. And the reason for that is because you can do so much more with it, and you can make your end product so much cooler. And it's not just for the fact of, you know, hey, I want all this like fancy stuff happening. It's so that you can like watch it and you can be like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? So it kind of gives you pride. Like when you can make cooler stuff, then it kind of gives you more pride. And, you know, when you share your videos, you know, you're more proud to share your stuff. And when people are like, you know, hey, what's your YouTube channel about? You're more confident when you're showing it to people and that kind of stuff. So I always recommend to people that when you get the chance, to upgrade to more, you know, professional software, if you can. You know, if you can't, then do it on your phone. If that's the only way that you can do it, or the only way that you want to do it because it fits into your flow of your life, so to speak, without having to sit in front of a computer, by all means, you know, just keep using KindMaster. It'll do the trick. But I always recommend to people that you upgrade when you get the chance. Buddy Carhide, so many questions. This is awesome, but did you hit the like button? Hit it. That's right. Hit the like button, folks. Share this right now. I'm going to be on here for just a few more minutes before wrapping it up. But Yeah, go ahead and hit that share button too. Hey guys, I don't know if you're following me on Instagram yet, but I just wanted to also say to make sure that you follow me on Instagram if you're not noticing that little graphic that's flying across the screen. Hey, and Alan, I don't know if you're in here or not. Alan from AM Details. I have some graphic work that I'm doing for him tonight, and I will have that over to you, my man, here shortly. Paul, doing some graphic work for him also. He is on my list for tomorrow, my dude. What would be the next step up from using iMovie? I think Final Cut is my guess on a Mac. My friend Brian G. Johnson, he's another YouTuber. If you're not familiar with him, check out his channel. Just go and search for Brian G. Johnson, or one of the mods can put a link to him. He uses Final Cut Pro, and his stuff looks good. His editing is really solid over there. So, going from iMovie, the step up to that would be Premiere Pro from Adobe, or you could use Final Cut as well. Buddy follows me on Instagram. Good stuff. Hey man, did you see on the Instagram post with the teddy bear with the cops? That was an interesting day. Hey, what is going on, Henry's High TV? When I live stream with OBS, it's lagging. How can I fix it? Natrium Matrix Gamer wants to know. Are you wanting to reduce the sync between OBS and YouTube, or are you saying it's lagging with your audio, or it's just slowing down your whole machine? If it's slowing down your whole machine, then you should probably upgrade your machine when you get the chance to. If it's lagging between OBS and YouTube, that is YouTube's ingestion stuff that is lagging there, so there's nothing that you can do about that I'm aware of. If you're having audio sync issues, then you can actually change that in your audio settings inside of OBS. Hey, see you, Greg. Take care, man. And hey, Greg, man, I sent you information on that intro too. Any cameras at decent prices for new YouTubers? Liz asks. I'm really digging the GoPro. It depends on the type of videos that you're making, but I'm digging the image quality of the GoPro, but I don't like the audio aspect of it because the audio sucks. But I love how the quality looks. Phones look awesome. I picked up a few weeks ago. I got the Galaxy S7. They're running a special on it right now because a new one, I guess, is coming out soon. But the video quality on this thing is just incredible. And then I plugged the Rode Video Mic Me into it, and I'm really, really happy with this phone. So phones are good. A nice cheap way to get started. The GoPro's good if you can find an audio solution or get the audio adapter that comes with it and hook up an external mic or a lav or something to that. The GX7 is supposed to be a good camera for vlogging as well, but that one's a little pricey. The GoPro's kind of pricey too. The Rode Video Mic plus GoPro Hero 5 is stellar. Okay, Rob Some Knowledge is definitely going for the GoPro also. What best camera for live streaming is Mobius camera. It can work as a webcam in 1080p, just OBS does not support it. The camera that I'm using right now, this is a Logitech C922. It records at 60 frames per second, also 1920 by 1080. But because of my internet connection here, I actually push it through at 1280 by 720 just to reduce the amount of data that I'm sending through, because the pixelation and stuff can be kind of rough sometimes, so I try to minimize that. Hey, when you edit mobile video, do you use Handbrake for sync issues? I don't have sync issues. Basically, inside of Vegas, I disable the what's it called? Yeah, you can right-click it and you can disable the resample in Sony Vegas, and that usually fixes any problems that I have for me. So that when it renders out, I don't run into that particular thing. What are you using, Paul? What are you using for your stuff? Have you done tutorial? Yeah, if you start at the beginning of this, hey, let me know. OP Gamer HQ. You asked if I've done the tutorial. I have, but if you have any questions, I can definitely give you a heads up if there's something specific that you're wanting to know. As long as I know how to do it, I can give you a heads up right now. Let's see here. 7 Edge records audio pretty good. If you want to record audio, I use it for my channel. Yeah, it does. And the 7 Edge and the 7, Internally, they're the same thing. You just have the extra cool features that come with the Edge, but internally, they're the same thing, I believe. Yeah, well, what happens, Paul, is with the frame rate not being constant, is when you disable that resample, then it causes it to where, or then it makes it not try to make the adjustment. That's my understanding of how it works. I'm not 100% if that's the actual way that it works, but that's my understanding because it fixes that problem for me. Yeah, lots of recommendations coming in here, guys, for good cameras. Liz, yeah, for good cameras for YouTube recording. Hey, that's cool. That's cool, Alex. My buddy Alex just popped in, sent me a Facebook message, said he's on a conference call, so he can't listen to the live stream. That's cool, man. No worries. There will be a replay. Let's see here. I use my Android Turbo. I can record in 4K. Yeah, this is the same way, man. Like it has the 4K option as well, which is pretty awesome. I'm actually going to pull this up here so I can look at you guys here a little bit. Man, wish Nick could give some advice on my channel. Yeah, that usually happens on Saturday. Right now, I just did the tutorial. I'm probably going to cut off this whole back end section of this, but I do those usually on Saturdays for the tutorials, or not for the tutorials. I'm sorry, but for the looking at people's channels. Samsung, man. Let's see here. My app's similar to VideoScribe. Please for adding text and picture animations on Android. I think VideoScribe actually has an Android app, but I don't know how good it is. I don't make that type of video, and I don't work with anybody that makes that type of video. I have a friend that makes that type of video, but I don't, actually like work with them. So I'm not sure as far as an app for VideoScribe style videos or the whiteboard videos. For those of you guys that don't know what VideoScribe is, I'm not sure what you can do with that on an Android. Corbin Connection Comedy. I usually live stream on Saturdays. I'm going for 9 a.m. Eastern time, which right now is 8 p.m. my time. So that seems to be working out okay. But yeah, Saturday I will be 9 a.m. Eastern time again. Absolutely. iPhone Pro 76 in the house. What is going on? Yeah, Liz, I hope to see you there on Saturday. I know you've been in the last couple too, so thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Sup, Paul, says Alan. Hey, Alan, dude, I was just talking about you. I don't know if you were in here just a few minutes ago. I was just saying that I had some stuff that I have to do for you, so I need to get off of here soon. Can you suggest some laptops for YouTubing, please? Okay, here's the thing. If you're going to be editing on a computer, you want to try to make sure that you have as much RAM as possible. The more RAM you have, the more money that you're going to spend. You also want a lot of hard drive space. Of course, you can use external drives so that when you're done with the video, you can move everything over. But you want a lot of hard drive space. You want a lot of RAM. You want to try to go with an i7. If you're running Windows, you want to try to go with an i7. Just so that you can, make sure that your processor can handle what you're doing. And a nice solid graphics card too. Sub Nick, just watched a lot of your videos and sub and clicked the bell. Awesome, Sky High Beats. Welcome aboard. Fist bump. Boom. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you in here. Nice to have you as part of the crew. Part of the Doing Posse. Plug time. Can't thank Nick enough for helping the AM Detail channels get the graphics together. Also a great tutor and inspiration. AM Details, Alan, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it, my man. Boom, you can have that for free, Nick. Send me an invoice. No, I'm just kidding. See here, what green screen light setup do you recommend for both budget and non-budget scenario? Here's the thing with green screen. Green screen can look okay. But green screen, if you're not really careful with green screen, it can end up looking really cheesy, or it can actually detract from what it is you're doing, because some green screen videos look so bad that when you're watching the video, all you can think about is, man, whatever this person's doing to this video, if you don't know what green screens are, like, for me personally, because I know what they are, like I'll watch a video and I'll think, man, their green screen makes this video looks horrible. They would be better off just doing this in front of a wall somewhere, like in just a clean wall. You know what I mean? Instead of doing a green screen. So be real careful with the green screens. But for the lights, you can use lights like just can lights. You can use like softbox style lights to light the background. The main thing that you want to try to make sure that you keep in mind with the green screen stuff is that you put enough light on yourself that you're trying not to cast that much shadow on the background or any shadow at all. And you also want to light the background separately from yourself so that it's nice and even. You don't want a bunch of like hot spots on there because you have lights too close and things like that. So it's best if you can give yourself a little bit of space away from the green screen. And you also want to make sure that you iron out the wrinkles or steam out the wrinkles, or that you just hang it up long enough the wrinkles kind of work their own way out. Even if it's wrinkled a little bit, usually you can still be okay as long as you're not right in front of it, as long as you give yourself a little bit of space. But when you actually go to light it, just it'll be a big benefit to you if you put like a light on one side, a light on the other side, and you have it shining. And if you can also put a light behind you as well, to where all the lights are hitting the green screen evenly, so you get the same green shade, and then you're lit separately from that. That's a really good way to separate yourself from that background. Let's see here, Nick. Is it worth mentioning your graphics are designed to flow and not be placed in between video transitions? For example, it's better to overlay than put inline on topic. Very good point, Alan. Thank you. Yeah, one thing when you're using the video graphics, like I was just showing you how to make in this tutorial, is when you are using them. Here, let me go back into OBS so I can actually show you what I mean. Let's see here. Okay, so what Alan was talking about is when you are using your graphics, let's say you are dropping in an intro or something into your graphics or into your video, or just any of the actual graphics, the transitions or anything like that. I'm actually going to grab a transition real quick so that I can give you an example with an actual transition. We'll do a grunge wipe. We'll pull in one of these. Okay. So like in this situation, like what a lot of people will do is instead of putting it as a new layer here in the timeline, they'll actually cut their video, right? And then they'll drop the transition in there, and then they'll close it up. And what happens in that case is you get that black bar. You get that black, let me pause it here. Let me go back. Is you get this right here that happens because you're not seeing through it. There's nothing behind it. So if you want to make it cleaner, then you put it on its own track, and then you go in and you make it, in Premiere it's automatically, you can see through it automatically, but you make it where you can see through it, so then that way that black disappears, and then everything happens nice and smooth, and everything's it's seamless this way, and it makes everything a lot more professional and just nice and clean looking. How did you change cameras from your computer to the screen? iPhone Pro 76. I'm using OBS. When this replay goes live, you can go back and watch. I did a whole segment on using OBS. Basically what it is I'll actually show you right now. OBS is basically a control center of sorts. It's free, it's open source, and you can do all types of cool stuff with it. Like the transition happens right here. And basically what happens is I'm going to turn this thumbnail on, right? So you can see that I turned it on here in my OBS. If you look at over here on the left, this is basically a preview of what's going to happen, and what's on the right is what is actually live right now, right? So it's like a control room. And basically what happens is all you have to do is you hit this transition button, and it makes whatever you're seeing over here now live over there, and then you can change it, to whatever it is that you are wanting to work on over here. So in this particular situation, I'm going to transition back into OBS, and here I would actually move from the display capture, into my actual webcam, and as you can see over here on this left side, and then when I hit transition, then it's going to fill the screen. So that's how I do that. Okay. Nick, this video quality is epic, dude. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate it. Yeah, with this one, man, it's not on my phone. This one I'm actually plugged in. So for you guys that don't know, I mentioned it in Saturday's live stream. Whoa, is that Brian G in the house? It is. I almost didn't recognize it with your new icon. I saw on Facebook in Tube Ritual that you mentioned your live icon there, or your new icon, and when you came in, I didn't even recognize it. But anyway, Brian G Johnson in the house, folks. Everybody say what is up to Brian G Johnson. Yeah, but what I was going to say is starting next week, and Brian G Johnson, he's going to be doing the same thing, but starting either next week or the second week in April, Brian and myself are going to be live streaming over on the TubeBuddy channel on YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed over there and you want to catch some extra live information going down, then you definitely want to head over to TubeBuddy, or I'm sorry, TubeBuddy's YouTube channel, and check them out. And make sure that you subscribe and click the bell notification icon there as well, so that when Brian and myself go live over there, you can definitely make sure to check us out over there too. All right. Yeah, Brian, so what's going on here, man, since you just came in? Basically, we are doing a video graphics screen share tutorial on here. And, you know, as always, turn into a question answer, and I'm just showing different creative stuff about, how to do OBS and how all of this stuff works, here inside of Photoshop. I was making this video graphic and, making it move over here in Sony Vegas and showing them some other tips and things like that. So that is what's going on, just to bring you up to date. It's nice to have Brian G. Johnson in here. I missed you in the last one, man. I haven't seen you in a stream of mine in like 3 streams maybe. I think you're the same way, because I'm on an early schedule now, so we haven't been able to jump into each other's streams as much, so it's nice to have you in here, dude. Hit the like, people. Get to 100. How many likes are we at right now? Are we getting close to 100? Yeah, guys, smash that like button. And if you're just coming into the stream and you are new to my channel, my name is Nick. I help YouTubers grow their channels and make videos and all types of other YouTube related stuff. If that's something that you are interested in, which I'm sure it is because you make YouTube videos, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything. I love saying that. Making me cry a little bit. It's emotional. Man, I haven't seen you in a stream in ages. It's been so long. Liked and shared. Awesome. Thanks, B to the G. Hey, Nick, new to TubeBuddy. Can you explain how to get the shortened links from URLs you mentioned in your last stream? Yes. In order to get the shortened URLs, basically you go to the TubeBuddy.com website. You don't do it inside of your actual browser plugin, but you go to the TubeBuddy.com website, and then you sign in there, and then you'll actually see inside of your admin panel, there's an option for promotion. I think they called it promo materials, I believe. And once you go into that section, then you'll see a link to where you can grab like your channel banner. You can have a link to your latest upload. You can have a link for people to subscribe. If you're not in my YouTube group or in my Facebook group, basically I posted an image in there recently from, basically it was a screenshot that I took out of TubeBuddy where, I took the tracking link and they allow you to see the stats to that tracking link as well. And I pasted it in there because since I've been using that, which has only been a handful of videos, that particular link has gained me another 130 something subscribers. So that link in the description, guys, if you are watching this right now and you want a tiny little tip that will gain you more subscribers, not a ton, but every new subscriber counts, make sure that you put a subscribe link down in your video description because people do click on those. And I posted that shot because of it, if you were mentioning that because of the Facebook group. TubeBuddy is not something at this time that you can use on an iPad or an iPhone. It is a browser plugin for your computer. So right now, as of this moment, they do not have a phone option. What is going on, Alex, in the house? Forget likes, swear the super chats. That's what I'm talking about. I like how you think, Alex. Yeah, everything Tesla, guys. Awesome. If you guys are into Tesla and green energy and all of that stuff, he makes some awesome Tesla videos over there. Personally, my personal favorite thing over there is his social commercials. He submitted a video to Tesla recently for their commercial submission thing for people that are into Tesla. They allowed him to submit commercials, and his commercial is incredible. So head over to his channel, Everything Tesla, and check that out. Fact, I'm at 3 clicks now, Nick, in 2 videos. Yeah, see, okay, so Alan at AM Details just says, hey, I'm at 3 clicks in 2 videos. So basically he's gotten 3 new subscribers from just having that link in the description of just 2 of his videos so far. Video good software. Yeah, VideoScribe is good software. A lot of people make the whiteboard videos that way. Subscribe to Nick for sure, absolutely. You're at 42. Nice. Is that 42 clicks from the TubeBuddy link, or you're at 42 total? Yeah, just from the description. Subs is cool. Yeah, it is, man. All of that stuff. The funny thing is, guys, is there's all these little elements that you can do, all these little things that add up to, you know, to large numbers over time. Because a lot of people think, you know, hey, I have a small YouTube channel. You know, I've got 25 subscribers. I've got 100 subscribers. I've got 1,000 subscribers. And they think, you know, man, when I look at all these stats, all of these little numbers are so small, they're not really adding up to anything. But the thing is that's what it looks like now. But give yourself a year, you know, have a year's worth of solid uploads and a year's worth of actually putting your efforts into YouTube, and all of those little tiny numbers, they add up to big numbers pretty quick. Later, Paul. Have a fantastic evening. Thanks for stopping by. David Sewell. What is going on? Nice to have you in here on the stream. If you guys are just coming in, this was basically a tutorial on how to make video graphics. I also went into a tutorial on basically just showing the basics of OBS streaming software, because I got some questions on that. I've showed how to use alpha channel graphics in Sony Vegas as well, and answered some other general questions. So if you're into any of that stuff, make sure that you check out the replay. And if you are new to me and my channel, my name is Nick. I make videos that help YouTubers grow their channels and make videos and all types of other YouTube related stuff. So if that's something that you are into and something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that you don't miss anything, and so that you definitely catch the next live stream. Okay. Hey Nick, what is going on? Android for beginners? The most important thing is consistency. Absolutely. I'll watch the full video later. I missed it. Hey, that's cool. No worries, no worries. How do you get the subscribe link, Nick? Okay. Here, I will actually, give me just a second here, and I will go into my, let's see if I can give you something cool to look at here. Okay, give me just a second. I'm just going to keep rambling here while I go into my stuff that I don't want everybody to see publicly. And I will show you exactly how to do the subscribe link. I'm going to open up a notepad as well so that I can show you exactly how to drop that subscribe link. So if you guys are just coming in here, what is happening right now is I have this live stream thing up, and people are probably going to start bailing on me, but hey, that's okay. But basically I was asked how you add the auto subscribe to your videos, and one way that you can do it is inside of the TubeBuddy website. They have a promo area, so basically you can go into their promo area and you can grab it from there. Another thing that you can do, and I'm trying to think of how I can actually make this bigger on the screen, and I don't think that I'm going to be able to. You know what, I'll just paste it into Photoshop and I'll show you guys that way. Okay, so basically, let's go back into, nope, not that one. Let's go into this. Okay, so I'm going to drop this into Photoshop just so you guys can see this. Let me make sure that's working. Yep. Okay, so what you do in order to add the subscribe link, if you are not using the TubeBuddy option, and let me change this font to something a little more friendly for this sort of thing, make sure my caps are not on. Okay, so if you want to add that subscribe link to your videos, what you do is there is code that you put at the end. There we go. There's code that you put at the end of your URL for your channel. And when you put this down in your description, what it does is it gives people the ability to subscribe to your channel. Now, if you use this particular code, then you're not going to be able to track it. But if you use the one that's inside of TubeBuddy, then you definitely will be able to track it. They track it for you because it's a shortened URL. So Google is actually tracking that link for you. So basically, what you want to do is you want to add, if you look right here, I'm going to change the color of it. I'm going to put it in like blue, a light blue, so it stands out a little bit. Okay, so you'll see here that I have my channel URL here, right? So what you want to do is you want to add just this part here, and I'm going to leave this on the screen so that you can jot this down in a notepad. You want to leave this part here on the screen, or you want to take this part on the screen and you want to put it starting at the question mark at the end of your channel URL. And when you do that, hold Control and scroll up to zone in, Nick. Oh, you mean for yeah, I can just do, yeah, that'll work on a browser, but here I can do that in Photoshop too. Yeah, so this right here is what you want to add, if that helps you see it. But basically what that does is when somebody clicks that, then it's going to pop up a dialog box, right? And when they pop up that dialog box, then it's just going to say you want to confirm your subscription to whatever your channel is, and then they just click yes, and then you're done. So super easy peasy, and it's very effective. And again, like this is one of those things that, you know, it's just a small touch that you can add, and over time it will, you know, it adds up to a decent amount of numbers over time. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. And for all you people that were hanging out in the live chat, I appreciate you hanging out. It has been a good time. I hope that I answered the questions for you. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.